We've been having really great discussions about open and closed borders. And we are talking about refugees, we are talking about forced migration. And borders are part of life, but also you also realize the creation of borders. You know, for us in Africa, for us in Uganda, who created our borders? The borders, somebody sat in Berlin and partitioned Africa. And you realize that we have border communities, the Pasamia, all the way in the east, you have families who were split. We've had people in leadership in Uganda, but also people in leadership in Kenya, but they are brothers, and sisters. So that's the kind of borders. So to some people, they're just imaginary. That's why also, like, when you talk about border management, let's move away from thinking about, that land, the mass, that you can manage a border even when you're not at the border. That's very, very, critical. And when we're talking about forced migration on whether to open or what, in Africa, we realize that when people are on the move, contrary to what people think that Africans are rushing to Europe, Mediterranean Sea, you've seen people dying, the majority of Africans actually move within the African continent. I think the International Organization for Migration, 175 million, moving within the continent. And so the issue about migrations has also been politicized. But we also know that Uganda, we've had those open border policy. When I say open border, it doesn't mean that we have opened to the criminals. It means that we are opening to those people who are running away, from their countries, from their homes. If you realize Uganda is sandwiched among the Great Lakes region, we are part of IGAD, we are part of the East African community, and you find that we are open because if somebody's house or somebody's in danger, for us Ugandans, we open. I'm not just even talking about government, I'm talking about the people of Uganda. They are so friendly because when you bring in refugees, of course, they live among the communities. That's why we find that, they live side by side. It is settlements, not even camps. So they're allowed to grow food, there's freedom of movement, because we know what it means. Because even in Africa here, generally in Uganda, when your neighbor, doesn't even have salt, you give them some. So the way we behave with our neighboring countries, the way we behave with even our neighbors, as Uganda. Now the challenge we have is that not everybody in the world is like Ugandans, okay? And many times people even there are these debates that why are we taking on? Because in Uganda you can imagine 1.4 million and we are still counting refugees. Uganda is the highest host of refugees in Africa and third in the world. And we are not even the richest people in the world, so you can imagine. And we've seen scenarios where, for example, Germany took on about 800 refugees, and everybody was excited. There's a lot of, hey, it was like, this is Jesus they are taking. But we've taken so many, but I don't think they celebrate us enough. And when also people say, why are we taking many and others? So in our discussions, that's why we tell people that no, it's not tit for tat. We do it because it's the right thing to do. It's the morally right thing to do. And we've seen that unlike other forced migrants or other people on the move, these people don't choose to move. And in our discussions, I remember talking about that. Let's also imagine, who is a refugee? Who is a forced migrant? Some people equate them with the poor people who are not having skills, who have come to take away. They do not know that the people, when war breaks out, even doctors are running, even professionals are running, people who are really skilled, such that these people have what to contribute, even when they come, to countries like ours. First of all, because of the positioning in which we are. We don't live in an island. So when your neighbor's house is on fire, yours is also on fire because it's going to multiply. Or we are not excited that people are running to us and we are all this. We want people to be in their homes. Just like how you travel elsewhere, whatever reason, home is always best. Okay? And so when that is happening, that means trade. It affects trade relations. It affects movements of people. Even the border, communities themselves. Even the nature of progress. That when you're fleeing, I know this because I remember fleeing away from the Lord's Resistance Army. you know, I was younger. That means, you know, education, you know, it stopped for a while because you are internally displaced. So while other people are ahead with education, for you are doing a catch-up. So just like these refugees, like they are away from home for a long time. You don't even know when is the right time to return. And the longer you keep away from home, you can imagine when when you leave home, you find your home, either it's gone or the land. Remember even the IDPs, let's not forget, because even forced migration, even IDPs. And for me, also working in the world of human trafficking, those are also, they're also in that category because it's kind of migration that they are living but against their will because they've deceived them. You leave home, somebody has given you, has diffused you about opportunities, and you get there, for example, sexual exploitation. You get there, and you're like, no, this is not, I thought I came to work in a supermarket. Now, all of a sudden, they take you to a brothel. And when you say, no, this is not what brought me here, they say, okay, pay up because they've paid for your air ticket and everything. You're losing time. You're losing time. Where you thought you'd work, you know, to progress in your life. Many of the women, for example, especially those who are in the move, who have gone to the Middle East, many of them have children and family relations. The men in their lives have abandoned the children. That's why they're on the move. They want to take care of their children. So if you're stuck in a trafficking situation, you can imagine, you know, how many people are relying on you that your life there, that it's not just affecting your life, but also of your children, of your relatives, of your parents who are on the move. So the issue of, it's not even just Africa, because much of, when you're having your people on the move, it affects the geopolitics, okay? And this is, and also the category of people moving, young people. So if it is young people who are not productive, who are being enslaved, you see what that is moving. If it is young people who are being displaced as refugees, you are robbing them from the participation, not of only of their countries, but we are also part of IGAD. We are also part of regional communities. We are part of the global village. That's why we find that Global Compact for Migration affects all of us, you know. That there are pronouncements on how we should move, you know, freedom of movement and all those. So we are living a global village. So we are not even talking about what is affecting Uganda, but it affects the region, it affects the relationships with us, with even the outside world. Yeah, the challenge we have, that much as we have the open policy, you know, within Uganda and here, the developed world have stringent visa policies. They've closed out. And part of the challenge is the narrative that goes, you know, it's been politicized. During politics, you know, name it, in the developed world, it's always a contentious issue. The narrative has always been that all those migrants come to take away our jobs. When the economies are booming, no one even thinks that these migrants are contributing, you know, to that economy. There are even countries, look at the USA, you know, Canada, Australia, those are countries of migrants. There are people, indigenous people they found there, okay, whom they went, you know, and occupied the lands, okay? But they are now refusing others to come. They are closing off. They forget that all of us are migrants in a way. So now they realize, oh, let's close. And if you notice even on the issues of refugees, you know, for us we allow, you know, the mass, you know, the prima facie and all that. For them, they just come and pick. And the issue of durable solution is very, very key. Like I mentioned when we are talking, that look at Uganda, okay? So you have 1.4. But you just keep accumulating people coming, but they are not leaving. You see, that's the challenge. That while you're hosting, fix the challenges which are making these people move in the first place. Let other people also share this burden. That, you know, you know, other countries taking up more of these refugees. That let's share. Don't leave a country like you. Come on. A country like Uganda, you know, a size of Oregon. Oregon, just one tiny state here in the US. That's our size. But you can imagine we are hosting 1.4 and actually almost 1.5 million, you know, right now. So it shows you that if we can host and you are not that rich, that means other people can also take on, you know, a handful. Thank you.